Good day everyone, here's our math challenge for today. And here's our question. Given this square and inside of this square are two perpendicular segments, and given those values, the question is, what is the area of the square? Now, if you want to try this problem, you can pause this video. You have 20 seconds and timer starts now. Time's up. Now, let's answer this question together. In this question, our goal is to find the area of this yellow square. So given this information, such that these two segments are equal and we have 5 units, 6 units, 7 units, and 8 units. Now, how are we going to answer this question? To answer this question, let's insert two segments such that these two segments are perpendicular to the side of the square. Now, notice that we created 4 right triangles right here, having an hypotenuse of 5 units, 7 units, 8 units, and 6 units. Also, this is not hard to see that those 4 right triangles are similar to each other. Now, since they are all similar, this is safe to say that the shorter leg of this right triangle, we call this as 6A, and this side must be 6B. Also, in this triangle, we call the short leg as 8A and the longer leg as 8B. Now, we will do the same thing to the rest of the right triangles. So, the shorter leg must be 7A and the longer leg must be 7B. For the last one, the shorter leg must be 5A and the longer leg must be 5B. Now at this point, take note that if we choose any two right triangles, the ratio of their corresponding sides still the same. Now, let's use the other given in this figure. Notice that these two segments are equal. So, if we get the length of these segments in terms of A and B, so we can equate them. Now, let's do that. In order to do that, let's insert another segment such that this segment is also perpendicular to the side of the square. Now take note that this segment must be equal to 8B minus 7A. Now how about the other segment? This segment is equal to 7B minus 5A. Now we know they are equal, therefore we can say that 8B minus 7A equals 7B minus 5A. Now let's combine like terms. 8B minus 7B will give us B. 7A minus 5A will give us 2A. Now we have an equation that says that B must be equal to 2 times A. But don't forget our goal. Our goal is to find the area of this yellow square. And in order to find the area of this square, we need the length of its side. And what is the length of its side? Now notice that we can measure the length of the side of the square in two different ways. The first one is we can add the 7B plus 6B and this will give us 13B. Or we can add 8B and 5B and still we get 13B. So the length of the side of this square must be equal to 13B. Now, we want the area of the square, so we need to square its side. Therefore, the area of the square must be equal to 169 times B squared. So, we need to find the value of B squared, then multiply by 169 to get the area of this yellow square. Now the question is, how do we get the value of this B squared? Now let's use this right triangle. Also, you can use any right triangles that you want and still you get the same result. Now let's use this right triangle. Now since it is a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So we have 6A quantity squared plus 6B quantity squared equals 6 squared. Now, the left-hand side can be written as 6 squared times a squared plus 6 squared times b squared equals 6 squared. Now, if we divide all terms by 6 squared, this will give us a squared plus b squared equals 1. Now, don't forget that we want b squared. So, let's get the value of a in terms of b. Now, divide both sides by 2. This will give us the value of a as b over 2. Now, let's replace this b over 2 to this a. We have now b over 2 quantity squared plus b squared equals 1. Now, let's simplify. B over 2 quantity squared is just b squared over 4. Now, multiply all terms by 4. This will give us b squared plus 4b squared equals 4. Now, simplify the left-hand side. This is just 5b squared. Divide both sides by 5. This will give us the value of b squared as 4 over 5. Now, the area of the square is 169 times b squared. Therefore, the area of the square must be equal to 169 times 4 over 5, which is equivalent to b squared. Now, let's simplify. 169 times 4 over 5 will give us 676 over 5. Therefore, the area of the square given this figure must be equal to 676 over 5 square units. And as always, we are done.